Be vegan, make peace. Do good deeds, heaven Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
As the Earth warms, scientists are concerned about an increase in mosquito-borne viruses and infectious disease spread by animals.
Disease-carrying insects like mosquitoes or ticks living in warmer areas are more likely to spread to new regions as global temperatures rise.
How climate change increases the risk of infectious diseases. Part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Vegan, 'cause we don't support animal people's cruel treatment.
Big-headed dear, wonderful viewers. That's how you say "How are you" in Luxembourgish, one of the official languages of Luxembourg. My name is Alaric. The magnanimous people of Luxembourg join you in your prayers for world vegan, world peace. May all humans quickly awaken and shift to the vegan lifestyle to end all pandemics. Welcome to part 2 of our two-part series, How Climate Change Increases the Risk of Infectious Diseases. In part 1 of this series, we learned about how global warming increases the likelihood of more zoonotic diseases or pandemics occurring in the coming decades. On today's program, we'll learn about other ways global warming increases the risk of infectious diseases. First, let's look at how climate change is increasing vector-borne diseases, that is, diseases carried by infected insects and transmitted into the blood of humans. Vector-borne diseases form a significant portion of global illnesses. A 2008 study, published in the journal Nature, stated that almost one-third of the emerging infectious diseases over the past 10 years were vector-borne. The two most common vector insects are mosquitoes and ticks. Scientists are now concerned about how global warming will affect these insects.
As the Earth warms, scientists are concerned about an increase in mosquito-borne viruses and infectious disease spread by animals.
Disease-carrying insects like mosquitoes or ticks living in warmer areas are more likely to spread to new regions as global temperatures rise.
According to a 2019 study published in PLOS Neglected Tropical Diseases, the risk of vector-borne diseases from mosquitoes is increasing. Warmer global temperatures enable mosquitoes to breed and thrive in larger geographic regions, and the longer warm seasons give mosquitoes more time to infect people. The scientists predicted that, because of global warming, mosquitoes might be able to reach approximately 500 million more people by 2050 than they can today. Even today, we're seeing the effects of climate change on mosquito habitats. Mosquitoes formerly found only in tropical areas are now being discovered in more northerly climates. For example, dengue fever affects millions yearly in Southeast Asia, the Western Pacific Islands, Latin America, and Africa. The virus causes high fever, headache, nausea, vomiting, and internal bleeding. It is transmitted by a mosquito called Aedes aegypti, a species formerly found only in tropical or subtropical areas. However, warmer temperatures are increasing the range in which this mosquito can live. In 2013, a man in New York State, USA, was hospitalized with dengue fever. It was the first known case of the virus being transmitted in this northern state. The Aedes aegypti mosquito can also transmit the Zika virus. Zika causes fever, rashes, and intense joint pain. If contracted during pregnancy, it can cause a neurological condition in the baby called microcephaly. In a study published in the October 2020 issue of Global Change Biology, scientists reported that due to global warming, over 1.3 billion new people could face suitable transmission temperatures for Zika virus by 2050. Similarly, the West Nile virus, also a mosquito-borne virus, is currently being transmitted in new geographic areas. In 1999, the West Nile virus broke out for the first time in the USA. In 2012, after an unusually warm winter, another outbreak occurred in the US with 5,600 people infected and 286 deaths. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, states that global warming is increasing the risk of the West Nile virus because warmer temperatures associated with climate change can accelerate mosquito development, biting rates, and the incubation of the disease within a mosquito. Ticks also thrive in warmer climates. Because of global warming, they too have been able to move into more northerly areas. Ticks spread Lyme disease, a bacterial illness that damages the nervous system and causes severe joint pain. In the USA, the incidence of Lyme disease has more than doubled over the past 30 years. Ticks also spread diseases such as anaplasmosis, ehrlichiosis, and spotted fever rickettsiosis, all of which can cause fevers, chills, nausea, and vomiting and can be fatal. The CDC states that the annual number of reported illnesses in the USA from mosquito, tick, and flea bites tripled between 2004 and 2016.
Make peace now, or you'll face hellfire soon.
We'll now pause for a moment to give thanks for the medical entomologists whose research on vector-borne diseases helps to protect our health. We'll be back after this message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
Warning: sensitive images.
Welcome back to our program, How Climate Change Increases the Risk of Infectious Diseases. Scientists report that climate change can deplete the immune system, making it easier for people to contract transmissible diseases. In a study published in the March 2020 issue of Environmental Research Letters, researchers studied the relationship between the climate and the 2017-18 flu season in the USA. They concluded that a warmer than usual winter, erratic temperature swings, and extreme weather events contributed to the spike in influenza that year, killing 79,000 people. The scientists predicted that global warming could increase the risk of influenza epidemics in the US by as much as 50% by the end of this century, and that influenza-related deaths in Europe could also jump by 50%. Another risk to global health is the massive increase in climate change refugees. Widespread flooding, droughts, food and water scarcity, and rising sea levels have forced millions of people to leave their homes. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, or UNHCR, approximately 21.5 million people have been displaced by climate change events since 2008. Many of these people are forced to live in refugee camps where improper housing, crowded living conditions, poor sanitation, limited food and water supplies, and mental stress all contribute to the risk and spread of infectious diseases. Scientists also report that widespread flooding induced by global warming increases the risk of infectious diseases. In 2022, massive floods struck numerous countries, including Nigeria, Cambodia, India, Bangladesh, China, Thailand, Olak, also known as Vietnam, and Australia, affecting the lives of millions of people. In Pakistan, heavy rainfall during the summer of 2022 caused unprecedented flooding. A third of the country was inundated with water, and the lives of 33 million people were affected. Flooding increases the risk of disease in several ways. Floodwaters frequently contain raw sewage. Eating or drinking anything contaminated by this water can cause many diseases, including campylobacteriosis, E. coli, diarrhea, giardiasis, gastroenteritis, leptospirosis, and typhoid fever. In addition, floodwaters are breeding grounds for countless mosquitoes, which increase the risk of dengue fever or malaria. Floodwaters also contain toxic materials such as gasoline, oil, and industrial waste. Moreover, flooding increases the possibility of mold forming in dampened building materials. Molds can cause infections in the lungs or brain and can be fatal. Climate change poses yet another dangerous threat to human health: the melting of the permafrost, or permanently frozen land, especially in the Arctic. The permafrost has preserved the corpses of countless humans and animal people for tens of thousands of years. However, as temperatures rise and the permafrost melts, these remains are exposed, and viruses and bacteria from the past can be released into the atmosphere. Such an event happened in 2016 in Siberia, where an anthrax outbreak hospitalized 90 people and killed a 12-year-old boy. As there had been no incidences of anthrax for several decades, scientists traced the disease to the corpses of an infected reindeer person. This corpse had remained frozen in the permafrost for decades, but was now exposed due to global warming. Scientists are now concerned about the release of other kinds of bacteria and viruses. Dr. Jean-Michel Claverie, a professor of genomics and bioinformatics at Aix-Marseille University in France, warns that ancient bacteria and viruses from millions of years ago could come to life again if the permafrost melts. He says, global warming plus more people in previously uninhabited Arctic regions are the recipe for disaster. And this is not the only danger from melting permafrost. Another report, published in the September 2021 issue of the journal Nature Climate Change, warns that melting permafrost could also release radioactive nuclear waste and other toxic chemicals dumped in the Arctic, creating a global health hazard. And finally, rising temperatures enable disease-causing fungi to spread to new geographical areas. For example, coccidioidomycosis, more commonly known as valley fever, is a fungal infection transmitted by dust. In the USA, it was formerly found only in the hot, dry climates of the Southwest, but recently, due to widespread droughts, valley fever has broken out in several other states in the western USA. In California, which is suffering through its worst drought in 1,200 years, the infection rates for valley fever have risen 800% since 2000. Valley fever causes shortness of breath, coughing, and fatigue, and can be fatal. Our most courageous Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, frequently warns about the imminent dangers of global warming and emerging diseases and pandemics. She explains that the only way to stop these disasters is through a global shift to the compassionate vegan lifestyle.
If we're vegan, then this COVID-19 will disappear just like never have been. Wow. Then if the whole world will go vegan tomorrow, then lo and behold, pandemic gone at once.
Well, that piece of animals, people of meat, if people continue to consume it, then the children and the other people, children, women, men, animals, people on this planet are going to be harmed, hurt, or killed, or maimed. And the other further generation, their children, their great-grandchildren will be burned in such a inferno because of climate change due to animals, people, meat consumption. Meaning animals, people, meat industry.
Our deepest gratitude goes to Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, for sharing her deep wisdom. We pray that all people quickly heed her words and that we soon live in a healthy, peaceful, compassionate vegan world.
All information concerning the scientific evidence of climate change and its solution is in Supreme Master Ching Hai's book, From Crisis to Peace, free for download at crisistopeace.org.
We could live in every rational enjoyment without the use of flesh for food. The Reverend William Metcalf, vegetarian.
Magnificent viewers, thank you for your company today. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for Danny and Ron's Rescue, a lifetime promise, up next, right after noteworthy news. May you be blessed eternally for being vegan, making peace, and doing good deeds.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/PE.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/pe.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/pe.
Chương trình của chúng tôi cung ứng nhiều ngôn ngữ. Xin xem suprememastertv.com/schedule và suprememastertv.com/pe.